iPal Solo is a device used for reading. It is a standalone object that has the capability of scanning and reading aloud without the use of a computer.
The iPal Solo can read printed material from books, newspapers, and magazines. The only stipulation with the iPal Solo is that it cannot read picture books.
The device is simple to use. When text is placed underneath the scanner, the device immediately begins to read the words. When the student wishes to move on to the next page or decides they want to read a different page, all they need to do is simply pick up the book and turn it to the correct page. As soon as the text is removed, iPal Solo stops reading.
If the student decides they need to pause the reading, all they need to do is simply push a button, use the external keypad, or wave their hand in front of the device, like that. The device will pause the reading immediately, and once the student is ready to read again, they will once again push the button, use the keypad, or wave their hand in front of it.
Due to the need for a student to use their hands to pause and resume reading, this device will cause barriers for those students with limited or no mobility in their arms or hands. In this case, the device would be most beneficial to use with an adult or another student in the class.
Other than those students who have limited hand mobility, this device can easily be used independently by students. Students could use this device in a number of places also, including their general education classroom, their special education classroom, and also at their home.
Since students can easily use this device themselves, there's no need for intensive training on how to set up and use the iPal Solo.
This device comes with a short manual that parents and teachers could easily read in a short period of time. All it takes is reading the manual once, and it is clear how the device is set up and used. And after reading it once, the parents and teachers can easily teach the student how to go through the entire process themselves.
To set up the device, all the user has to do is simply attach the neck camera to the base and then plug it into an outlet. After plugging it in, the student would just need to know how to correctly lay their book on the base and how to pause and resume the reading. The only issue an individual may run into with setup is if they are blind. In this case, the student would need assistance in attaching the neck camera and plugging the cord into an outlet.
Okay, so let's talk about the portability and flexibility of this device now. The iPal Solo is surprisingly a lightweight object for its size. If the student wishes to move the device around the school or transfer it on transportation, it can be easily done.
The only recommendation we have for this device would be to have a carrying case for the student to move it around. The device cannot easily be carried in someone's arms, so having a carrying case such as a rolling book bag would be beneficial.
The only issue in a child transporting this is if the child were unable to carry or pull a bag. In this case, the student would need adult assistance in doing so.
Due to its small size, about 9 inches wide by 11 inches long, the device is very easily stored. It could sit on a desk, table, in a corner, or on a shelf. There would never be an issue of not having space to store the iPal Solo.
In terms of effectiveness, this device is pristine. While we tested it out, the device never read any of the words wrong or had a technical issue. This speaks for its reliability also.
Not only is the device effective, but it is also durable, safe, and has a reliable long-term use. From reading multiple reviews, we were able to discover the device holds up well for a substantial amount of time and does not experience many technical issues.
Although this is true, if the device were to experience a technical issue, it could not be easily resolved by the user. This would then require help from a professional.
The last thing we would like to discuss about the iPal Solo is its cost efficiency. The iPal Solo retails from around $1,500 to $2,500. Another device that is much cheaper than the iPal Solo is called the C-Pen. The price of a C-Pen ranges anywhere from $100 to $300. This is a device that reads text aloud as the user scans the pen over words on a page. If the reason a student is using the iPal Solo is only because they struggle with reading, then the C-Pen would be the most cost-efficient approach to helping this student.
If a student is blind, though, then the iPal Solo is a much better device. When using the C pen, the reader has to be able to follow along the words and maneuver the pen right over the correct words. With the iPal Solo, all a student has to do is place the text on top of the base, and the device will immediately start reading to the student. The iPal Solo was actually invented for those who are blind, which is why we believe it to be the most helpful and cost-efficient text-to-speech converter for those who are blind.
As you have seen, the iPal Solo is a great device for those who have low vision or are blind. It is able to read text to these individuals without the reader having to struggle to set up and use the device.